And at a crossing in Shoreham in Sussex, this driver just can't decide which way to go. First of all, they go forwards, then decide to go back, thinking perhaps that's the best option, or perhaps not. And on to more driving, and police in America are investigating after a trucker drove under a bridge to get rid of some snow on top of his lorry. Another driver in Illinois caught the ensuing explosion of snow on camera. This is the moment the trailer got a clean sweep. There it goes, thanks to the bridge. No one was injured, but the local police force aren't too impressed, and they are now looking into the matter.
Now, delighted to say joining me in the studio now is the actress Lesley Ash, who we don't see enough of these days, it has to be said. Good to see you, Lesley. Now, Lesley's here and she's back in a campaign against the industrial farming of pigs. What is the connection, I hear you ask? Because this is to do with pigs and MRSA, and you, whilst in hospital, you picked up a form of MRSA. So tell me what the connection, what possibly pigs and hospital, how does that connect?
Well, it's quite frightening. I mean, today our MEPs are going over to the European Parliament, and what they're trying to do is to condemn the use of EU taxpayers' money to open these enormous, great big pig farms. And it's the way that they're treated. They're enormous, great big industrial sites, and the pigs are just slotted in side by side. And it's the way that they're kept, and what they do is they contract MRSA, which is terribly frightening because you don't know how far along the line, could this come down to the consumer. It's just really bad. I mean, Tracy, do you remember Cat's Eyes?
Oh, yes.
Years ago? Well,
very good, on ITV.
Tracy Louise Ward was the woman that I ran around the countryside with, wielding guns and things like that. And she's made a film that she's actually funded herself, and she took herself off to America to look at the biggest pork producers that are Smithfield Foods, and she looked at the way that they keep their pigs, and it's frightening what you saw. In fact, they really didn't want her film to come out, so it's on YouTube at the moment, so people can see it there, and it's being shown at the European Parliament today.
So the message being that there is a price to pay for cheap food. So if you want cheap bacon and cheap pork chops and cheap pies and whatever, there is a price, and you believe there is a danger that this breeds MRSA, and that can pass into the human food chain.
Well, it has already passed on to the workers, the farm workers, and in places like Denmark and Poland, they've got quite a big problem with it. But the thing also is that you don't know exactly what you're buying. You go into a supermarket, you say, yeah, I want to buy British pork. You pick up the packet and it says, it's got a big British flag on it, and you look, great, that's fun. Look on the other side in small print, it'll actually say it's made with meat that's been from Denmark and Poland, and they have outstanding cases of pigs with MRSA.
Well, of course, if anybody's qualified to speak on this, you are. And when we see pictures of you in magazines and newspapers, we can't tell. I mean, I've watched you walk in here now. Obviously, how many years on you still have this difficulty with this?
Yeah, it was in 2004, and I do have difficulty with walking. There's no doubt about that. It changes your life. It changes the people around your life. You've known me for many, many years, and my husband's been fantastic, but my kids, it changes everything completely.
Do the politicians take this seriously enough? I mean, you're the figurehead. You know what you're talking about here. How seriously are they taking that message?
Well, there's already. They're looking at building one of these large factory farms in Foston in Derbyshire. I think if that goes ahead, then that will be the beginning of the end, really. I mean, I think there's too much of this thing of trying to get cheap meat, and Sainsbury's and Tesco's.
Driven by supermarkets.
Yeah, driven by supermarkets, and it's terrible.
So is there an ideal way to raise pigs? I mean,
I mean, the way that in my day, you went for quality, and you got small family farms. And, fantastic pork, but these people are coming in, undercutting them, and so it's putting our farmers out of business. and raising really not very nice meat. And also, all their waste goes into these large pools.
Yeah.
And even that can cause breathing problems.
Very disturbing. So the message has to go out to the EU. And in the midst of all this suffering that you had, you believed your phones were hacked by the News of the World or other newspapers. Where are you at with that? Are you going to pursue that?
Well, yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about it,
Yeah.
actually, because it's in the hands of the lawyers at the moment. But yes.
But you do believe you're a victim of that, or your children are a victim of that, and again, your misery
without a
was...
doubt, yeah.
Okay. Well, Leslie, good luck to you, and may you continue well. And the long-term prognosis for you, I mean, will you always have the legacy of MRSA, or...?
Well, while I haven't got much to do, I will work with it. But I am writing. I'm writing comedy at the moment, and yeah, I'd like to carry on in the business, but
Okay.
when you get the call, when you're needed.
Yeah, well, good luck to you. And that documentary that you were talking about, Pig Business, it was called, it's going to be screened to those members of the European Parliament today. And as Leslie was saying, it is on YouTube, and it is also available in a number of languages for you to make up your own mind on that one. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Sky News Sunrise on that website, skynews.com. Find out why an IT consultant suing her surgeon for millions right after.